I'm biased, but I believe there is a movement towards really arresting the enormous amount of time it takes to tackle data in a reinsurance submission. Currently, it's over 50% of the entire placement journey is just done in data cleansing, validation, and presentation. That is far too much by anybody's standards. I think that the industry is beginning to realize that that's a massive problem. And actually, it's one of the easiest ways to reduce the total amount of economic burden and increase the amount of efficiency there is in the placement process will be to tackle this process that takes over half the time now. And I think over time that will begin to get arrested, obviously through tools like Supercede, but also other process enhancements and really a willingness of the entire industry to get their arms around this and tackle it. And then we can get back to knowing what we're talking about in Monte Carlo and perhaps having firm order terms in market in October when we meet in Baden-Baden again.
And actually having numbers that line up with each other and being able to sit down with something. I think a lot of the posturing you see at Monte Carlo, as you say, is because there's not really anything solid to talk about, right? Here is a sweeping statement of appetite or some general guesses at market conditions that sound credible, but there's not really anything.
And it's some of it's so obvious when it comes out. It's like I always remember there was when England weren't expected to get to semi-finals and finals of football competitions. Wayne Rooney came out and he said, "Oh, I'm going to score in the next game." You think, well, that is your job, mate. You're paid quite a lot of money to score goals. So coming out and making a statement like that doesn't. And it's the same. I think the message from some of the big brokers last year was, well, we're going to try really hard to get our clients the best price we possibly can. That's
journalists feverishly typing that down.
That's kind of the minimum expectation. I think, hopefully we'll get into a place where more substantive, informed arguments and interesting information can come out of them.
Well, I think we've always said where the role of the broker will continue to evolve towards is being able to leverage better data and to deliver interesting and creative ways to solve complex client challenges, and using those markets as a way to sort of present, we're looking at this new style of structure, and running around the market, having all those conversations in that exploratory stage. Maybe it might be things where I think you saw us before in conferences where they tee up those conversations because they can have them all at once over the course of a few days with the intention of over the next year seeing how those things play out, right? You're looking at, as we've looked at new structures that got to emerge out, like top and drops and cascading structures and these types of things, it's very hard to drop that on the market in one renewal season. So you begin to open up those conversations a couple of times, and then by that second or third year, it's like, oh, there's actually the appetite is there, the ability to understand the pricing of that is now there. But it's almost using the conferences as a way to introduce those solutions for clients in a really effective way as well. So I think you begin to see how the brokers maximize their value to do something creative.